I'm working on a 2011 Audi S5. Another pretty common job on these is the the upper control arm bushings separate. You can see how this bushing, I don't know how good that shows up, but you can see how it's torn. That bushing is also torn, not as bad, but it's starting to separate. So the best way to do this job is you start off by releasing this large pinch bolt here, pull the nut off that, and then spin this out. If it's seized, you're going to have to air chisel it out. But once that's done, leave these bolts tight, and then you can see the position that they spring into, unless they're completely separated, but they should naturally go into the ride height position. So if the bushing is not torn all the way around, this is going to spring back up to where the car sits when it's at ride height. So you can do the other arm then and replicate that position. So I'm going to start off by just taking this bolt off. Alright, now that I have that bolt removed, I didn't show this, but this bolt was seized into place. You know, this is a Michigan car, and road salt really, especially with these aluminum uprights, these really get rough because it's a long bolt that goes through the center section, and that bolt just corrodes in. So it's kind of, usually you want to try to avoid, you know, torching a piece of cast aluminum, but I just brought a little bit of heat to it from the bottom here. You can't even see where I was doing it. It was very low heat. I was warming it through here with a short socket and an impact over here. You don't want to try to pound it through if it's real seized, because it'll, the edge of it can expand, and then you can actually break this whole upright, this spindle. I've seen it done, and it can cause, you know, cracks here, and that can be dangerous. So you're better off just trying to warm this up and impact the head of the bolt with a 1/2-inch drive impact until it starts spinning. So that's what I did here. Now I'm just going to take a little punch and just punch these ball joints out, and then start working the inside here. What's really nice about these versus the older Audis is you can do this all in place. You don't have to pull this whole assembly off. You can just take these bolts, they come right out, stick the new ones in the same way. This is what I was trying to explain. I left this one in place. I left the inner bolt tight, and you see it wants to spring back into this position. Even though that bushing is torn, it's not so torn where that it won't hold its position at all. So this still springs up into the ride height position. So when you install your new one, just do one at a time. Take this, move it until it's at the same height as that arm, and then lock this bolt down. So obviously once I have this thing locked into place, then I'm going to loosen this one, do the same thing on that side. You want to put anti-seize on this bolt before you stick it back in, or grease, whatever. If you don't have anti-seize, grease is better than nothing. And yeah, just, you're going to have to pull down on these arms a little bit because the bushing is going to be tight, but it won't be too bad of a fight, and then push the bolt in so that, you know, lines up with the grooves on the ball joint. But that's the whole job. Nothing too difficult about it other than that little tip as far as to keep those bushings oriented correctly. But other than that, pretty simple job. Well, thanks for watching.